that off in the second renewal of the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Gowran Classic of €200,000, offering prize money down to 10th place. 11 runners over 9.5 furlongs. Off them at the back is Fiona McCool. It's Bishopton and Dignam, attended by Inventress, close up Umala. On the inside, Duress, Viking Invasion next with Heaven's Gate and Soda Bed. Nancy J, Green Triangle, and a couple of lengths back to Fiona McCool. Continuing inside the 7 furlong point, and it is Bishopton the leader, but only just to Umala, who takes up second spot. Ahead of Duress, Dignam, and Ventress is tracking in 5th, and then so to Bed, and then with stable companion Viking Invasion. Nancy J. Heaven's Gate has lost ground. Now near to the back is two behind Green Triangle and Fiona McCool. 5.5 furlongs to go as they make their way across the top of the track, and it's Bishopton and Shamie Heffernan just with the edge from Umala and Ben Cohen, followed by Dignam. Pale blue jacket of Scott McCullough disputing third with Duress and Chris Hayes, with a couple of lengths then to Inventress, who's racing in company with Unsota Bed as they pass the halfway stage. Then Heaven's Gate nudged along Viking Invasion. Then comes Nancy J, Green Triangle, and Fiona McCool's always been last as they run round the home turn. And it is Bishopton just shading it from Umala, being followed after a break of a length and a half Duress. Then Dignam and Ventress continues just 5th from on the inside Unsota Bed as they straighten for the judge. 2.5 furlongs to go in the EBF Gowran Classic. Bishopton, Umala, followed by Dignam, who's keeping in Duress, and Soda Bed in the centre of the track, followed by Inventress. Nancy J is waiting for an out. Wide of the leaders, picking up his Green Triangle as they race towards the last furlong. And it's Umala headed by Dignam. Green Triangle from off the pace, and Soda Bed into the closing stages of the Classic. And it is Green Triangle and Ronan Whelan on the near side of Soda Bed. Viking Invasion took third. A dream result for Joseph O'Brien, and then Dignam and Nancy J.
And Ronan, congratulations, you've won the 200 grand Curragh Classic on Green Triangle. Does that at least make up for some of the time you had to spend watching all the action?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say Joseph felt sorry for me. He was actually, it was one of his I got the fall off, so he was probably a sympathy vote for me, and he gave me the spin on it, and sure, it worked out great in the end, you know. I
mean, just take us back to that day, the Curragh. It was an innocuous enough looking fall, but clearly turned out to be a lot more serious.
Yeah, just a pure freak thing. Filly was a bit bouncy in the gates, popped out and just forgot her legs, and you know, naturally I curled up in a ball, and when she pressed off with her hind leg, she right under the skull, she split all my head open, and the actual scar looked kind of worse than it was, but I got a delayed concussion, and I was suffering with a bit of vertigo more so than anything was what kind of delayed me. Every morning I get up and I get a bit dizzy and I just have to balance myself, and Kate Harrington, Jennifer Pugh, Gavin Wayne, everybody in race was an amazing help to me, and Kate Harrington as well recommended a person up in Dublin for the vertigo, so I went up there and that helped me big time and got me back earlier than anticipated.
Brilliant. You were actually hoping to come back last weekend, weren't you, to Curragh? You were jocked up for a few on Friday, at least maybe even Saturday.
Yeah,
that must have been a blow.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of pushing it to get back maybe. I had to go for my test on the Wednesday and afternoon, and the Dexter that morning, so look, I was chancing my arm. I said, you know, the weekend I was in it, I went down for it, but as I said, when I went up to Santry, and my balance just wasn't where it should have been, and look, in hindsight, it probably was the best thing that I didn't ride on such a big weekend. I probably wouldn't have been of any use to anybody else or myself, so look, I think these things work themselves out in the end, and it's nice to come back and win a pot like this.
Absolutely, you've got your just desserts today. Just the one ride you had earlier on before this guy, and talk us through the race, because he's not a straightforward customer. They changed the headgear today, and looked as though you were very keen just to not use that whip at all.
Yeah, exactly. In fairness to Joseph, he said, look, we've been pushing the horse forward, and today we've the blinkers on him, and we'll just ride the horse, see wherever he's comfortable, and just kind of take it from there really. And in fairness, Scott and the guys told me that if you don't hit him, he'll go more for you for hands and heels. And look, you know, them tricky ones down here, when I got to the bend and I whipped him out, I kind of made his mind up for him and got him rolling, and if anything I probably got there a little bit too soon on him. He actually parked a little bit in front as well, but he's probably, look, after being forced early on in these races to go and be taken back, he probably thought he was a champion, and he's obviously a horse with a lot of ability, and No, it's nice to ride a winner for the Minears and Mr. Swade and obviously Joseph to put me up is much appreciated.
Yeah, great way to remind people that you're back as well. Hopefully you can kick on for this round. You're still in Aiden's, I think, down in Ballydoyle. Do you go into Joseph at all yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm in Aiden's 3 days. Jesse a day. I do a bit on a Wednesday with John O'Donoghue, and I've been in with Michael O'Callaghan, and obviously the fatties I ride a good bit for, but Joseph has come up to the Curragh a lot, and he's asked me to sit up in a few of them when he comes up there, so that's how I've been kind of riding a bit of work for him in that regard.
Yeah, super. Well, listen, great to see you back, and first and foremost, and also amongst the winners. Lovely prize to win, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you, much appreciated. Thank you.
Well, 4 runners for trainer Joseph O'Brien in the Irish Stallion Farms EBF Gowran Classic, and he sent out the first 4 home. Joseph, congratulations. Not quite Michael Dickinson, but very, very impressive nonetheless. Just tell us your thoughts on how it all played out. Was that roughly what you expected or not necessarily?
I don't think so, Gary. They were all bigger prices. I think the shortest price of them might have been 14 to 1, but we had been working towards this race obviously because the prize money is so good. We were second in it last year, and we were always keen to run whatever we can in the race, and I suppose Dylan's filly that was second ran a great race. She really bounced back to form. She'd like a bit softer ground, and the winner obviously is a talented horse. First time blinkers. Ronan gave him a lovely ride, and he's a bit of a monkey, but he's got plenty of talent, and he always has had that.
Yes, and a hands and heels ride. Ronan was just saying he'd obviously spoken to the lads that had ridden him before and had a chat with you. That was, I think, the agreed plan beforehand, was it?
Yeah, well, I actually didn't say it to Ronan, to be honest, but obviously in Killarney last year when he jumped out through the rail to get going away from the stick, and I think the guys that have been riding him this year felt that hands and heels is probably the way to get the best out of him, and also the first time blinkers helped and he got a good setup. But yeah, delighted for Ronan too. His last ride for us, he got a fall in the Curragh, and today's his first day back riding. Since then, he got a bit of a kick in the head. So yeah, delighted for him to win a good pot.
Yeah, lovely to see him back. And in terms of the forum, Joseph, any plans going forward? This was obviously a big target for them all.
Yeah, most of them are kind of working towards here, but and so to bed will go back into stakes company. I'd love to find a bit of juice in the ground for her. The winner will probably step into a nice handicap somewhere, 3-year-old handicap. Be interesting to see what the handicapper does after today, but my thoughts would be to go into a nice handicap somewhere. Viking Invasion ran a good race too, coming home. Just a bit sluggish early again, maybe like softer ground. And Dignam ran a good race too. It was probably his best run of the year, so he's going the right way.
Pretty much been a perfect day with Dancing Teapot winning the opener as well. What's the feeling on the next step for her after getting that out of the way?
Yeah, she's rated a bit lower than what we kind of would have expected her to be at this stage. So whether she'll step into a filly's handicap somewhere, we might do that, and we might have a look at going a little bit further with her at some stage too.
She's obviously a full sister to Dancing Gemini, but while he maybe looks as though Miles is his best trip, you obviously feel she'll come into her own of her middle distance maybe.
Yeah, no, it is, and we've discussed it with David and Linda, obviously the breeders, and the feeling is obviously that Dancing Gemini is very much a miler, and that's why we've been keeping this filly to a mile. But I thought she looked today like she'd go a bit further, and whether we do it now or later, it's something that we'll explore at some stage.
Joseph, we've obviously got a big a couple of days at Epsom coming up next week. You've representation at this stage in all the Group 1s, the Coronation Cups, the Oaks and the Derby. Just with the Derby, first of all, is Tennessee Stud an intended runner?
Yeah, I think there's a good chance that he might go. Gary, we'll see how this week goes and how the race shapes up. But I think is there one other Group 1 winner in the race, and he was third in Leopardstown off a very messy race. Very fast finish, very slow pace. So happy enough with the run, but really and truly he wasn't given the circumstances to be seen to his best effect.
Yeah, were you really using that as it, I suppose, is often referred to as a trial?
Yeah, well, he had a tough race very late in the year in France, winning the Group 1 there, and so he had an extended holiday after that. So the plan always was to have one run before Epsom, and bit of a farce of a race, to be honest, but he didn't run a bad race, and we achieved what we needed to achieve by getting him out, and we're strongly considering sending him over.
And if you do run him, presumably he won't be there just for the fresh air. You'd expect him to be in the mix.
Yeah, well, listen, he's, like I say, he's a Group 1 winner. I think he'll thrive going 1.5 miles, and really probably what he needs is a strong tempo.
And what about Alrifa? And we might take the long way in the Oaks on Friday.
Yeah, I think Alrifa, it probably looks like he might wait for the Hardwick in Ascot, and we might take the long way. Have to have a discussion this afternoon, but I think there's a chance that she might go. Particularly, looks like there's a bit of rain in the forecast in Epsom this week. She obviously is an impressive trial winner on her last start. Minnie Hawk was second to her in her maiden in Cork. Probably her first time going the distance, but she's a daughter of Australia, so she's a legitimate contender.
Okay, we look forward to that. And just finally coming back to today, what about preserving essentially a 100% record on the day? Because Fortuna Vera looks to have a great chance of the fillies handicap.
Yeah, she has her chance. She'll enjoy the track here and the good ground, and she has a nice draw, so she has her chance.
Super day so far. Joseph, thanks for your time. Well done.
Thanks, Gary.
Lovely. Thanks, Joe.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.